Letting go is an ability that's vastly underestimated and undervalued. You caring so much and getting so attached to everything and everyone and every outcome creates tension, pressure, and pain. Most importantly, it extends suffering. Whenever you're worried about what might come in the future, whenever you're really upset at yourself about how you behaved in the past, yes, sometimes there is value and you can extract lessons from it, but most of the time you're dwelling or worrying. And so if you stopped caring so much, if you could just let yourself be present in this moment, your life experience would be that much more enjoyable and everything that you would do would come easier. Sometimes we lose perspective. We forget about the type of person that we want to be, and instead we act and behave in a way that's more in alignment with our old self, the type of person that you don't want to carry on your shoulders as you're going forward towards your new goals, your dreams, and your aspirations. The more baggage that you bring, the more of these old patterns, the more that you get in your own way, the more difficult everything becomes, and you get stressed out and you find even more things to complain about. You see, once you start caring about every little detail and every little problem in your life, you will start finding more of them. You're telling your brain that this is what you want, and your reticular activation system is happy to respond and say, yes, of course, let me do that for you. If you say, why do people treat me so badly? Or why do I have all these problems in my relationships, or in my business, or in my personal growth? Well, it's because you're continuing to look for them. Of course, you need to identify your problems and the root issue behind them and proactively work on them, but slamming your own ego by trying to tell yourself that you're not good enough or that you've made all these mistakes and showing proof that you're a bad person, all it does is make that part of you stronger, and you don't even realize it. The more that you care about something, the bigger it grows. The more attention you give to something, the more power it holds over you. You become needy and desperate, and instead of being a great version of yourself that's free and loose and willing to just go with the flow and the moment and not create resistance, mental resistance especially. This is really why life becomes such an uphill struggle and battle for so many people. I'm asking you to be kind to yourself, to allow some margin for error. It's reasonable for you to make mistakes, and the most important thing to remember is don't try to solve problems before they even arrive. Focus on what's actually in front of you. Don't create future scenarios with what might happen or what might go wrong. Just deal with it as it shows up. Now, of course, you might argue that and say, well, if I'm predicting problems, I can get ahead of them and I can be more effective. The reality is that for most people, that simply isn't true. You'll worry more. You'll waste more time and energy. So if that really is you, be honest with yourself, great. Most likely, you're just getting in your own way. There are so many things in our lives that we really have no control over. Maybe just some level of influence, but a lot of the time, not even that. And we get obsessed and we think and we waste time. And if only we had spent that energy and invested it in what we do have influence over, our growth would be exponential. Our progress would speed up so severely that you'd be shocked with how much you're able to achieve. And this is exactly the shift that I went through when I had social anxiety, depression, when I was working a job, a minimum wage, being a janitor. And all of a sudden I went from that scenario to doing what I loved most, helping people all over the world, becoming a coach and serving so many incredible entrepreneurs and successful people. It wasn't just, oh, let me do the work and actually market, draw in my ideal clients and actually create an incredible experience for them so that they're happy and so they get referrals for me and everything like that. But a huge part of it was really just mentally getting out of my own way, letting go of the concern of what someone might think of me. Before, the thought was something along the lines of, I started when I was 19, by the way, I'm too young, I'm not good enough, I'm not qualified. And what it became as I started to serve people was, let me give it my best shot. I have a lot of energy. There's a lot of upside to my youth. So the whole story shifted. And of course, this is quite a long time ago since I began, but in over 8 years, what I realized was I just get better and better the more that I'm in the moment, the more that I'm present with what I'm doing and who I'm serving, instead of obsessing and worrying about what might go wrong and what might happen, caring so damn much. You see, there's caring the wrong way and caring the right way, and usually it's defined by a situation where you worry, you project, you get in your own way, versus genuinely wanting to give your best effort and focusing all your energy into that. It will transform your life. And look, if you want to improve your life and grow even faster, then I suggest that you go over to erafael.com. The link is in the description, where you can book a one-on-one consultation with me. We'll talk, see if we're a good fit. And if so, I'll coach you every single week, hold you accountable to your goals, and really make sure that you are becoming your best self in every area of your life, financially, relationship-wise, physical health, and also your mental health, your state of mind. Finally, I just want you to consider how much time you've already wasted being obsessed, worried, and concerned about things that maybe didn't ever happen. Really let that sink in. You probably projected into the future and thought, oh, what if this person says this? What if I have this meeting and it's not good? What if somebody gives me negative, critical feedback, or something happens that upsets me or that triggers me? Yes, sure, sometimes that did happen. But how many times did it not happen? How many times did you get away almost scotch-free, but you were so worried and you carried all that tension? Truth be told, the more that you worry, the more that you do that, you create self-fulfilling prophecies. You make it so that you will have those experiences eventually, because you're steering yourself and looking for a situation like that. Again, the more attention you give it, the bigger it grows, the more power it has over you.